84 points, 50 in the second half. They had 16 offensive boards to our 7. Guys, you shoot 46% for the game. Most teams that shoot 46% for the game have a chance to win the game. But not when, I mean, hey, let's think about it. Our first 3 games. This is a problem. This is a consistent.
Thanks for joining us this week on Griffon Sports Spotlight. I'm your host, Brandon Zenner. I'm sitting alongside who I think is probably the biggest fan of Thanksgiving, Rob Edmondson.
No doubt about it. It's a great week.
Now, I'll be joined by men's assistant Will Martin and football coach Matt Williamson coming up later in the show. But starting with you, Coach, 0-2 week against Truman State and at home against Regis. Just was there a common theme in your eyes to both games this week?
Well, not really. They were actually had some dramatic differences. You know, Saturday down at on Tuesday down at Truman, you know, we just didn't defend well. We didn't take care of the ball, and we got out rebounded pretty severely. And we came back on Saturday afternoon and had corrected those 3 things, and then poor shooting showed up. So we're just in that phase right now where we're trying to find more consistent facets into our game offensively and defensively, and we showed some improvement between the 2 games, and we just still got a lot of work to do.
Are these issues that you expected with this group, the shooting woes, some foul trouble, or are these things that you don't think should be happening?
Well, you know, you never like to see your team foul because usually that means, one, they're either being lazy or don't know what they're doing, and that's never good, either one of those things. And so, but, you know, I didn't really have a lot of expectations because I just knew there was so much newness to what we're doing, you know, in terms of new players and returning players that didn't play and getting everything put together, put it back together. After last year, I knew that we were going to have some rough moments early, and I really believe this team's going to be good late. But we're going to live through some growing pains here the first 4, 5, 6 games.
I mean, that's nothing new to you in recent years.
No, it's not. I mean, you know, we play at a level and play in a league where everybody's trying to do the same thing we are. We don't have the corner on the market of trying to win games, and everybody we're playing, especially with our schedule we put together, this non-conference was designed a year or 2 ago. When we didn't get in the NCAA tournament because they told us our non-conference schedule didn't have enough D2 games and quality regional opponents, we went and added them, and you know, so we're playing that schedule.
Now let's start with that Truman game. You start hot, led by 10 after the first, but then you go cold trail at the half. They ended the game on a 15-3-1. Just what was the most troubling part of leaving Truman with a loss there?
Well, it's just our lack of taking care of the basketball, our value for the ball, and our inability to go compete on the boards. And we call those effort issues. Those are stats that you look at that it just takes toughness to take care of the ball. It takes toughness to rebound and toughness to defend. And we had phases of the game that we were tough in different periods, but you know, we've got to increase those minutes. You can't play 20 minutes of tough basketball and win at this level. You got to play closer to 35. I mean, you're not going to play 40 minutes of perfect basketball, but our minutes of quality play have to go up in terms of our toughness level.
You only allowed 34 in the first half, but then they scored 30 in the third quarter alone. So in that first half there, are you seeing stretches of really good basketball?
Yeah, we're seeing stretches, we're seeing glimpses, we're seeing things that we anticipate we'll see later in the year more consistently, but we're just having to live through some pains right now, and you know, we've got to be patient with where we're at. We're trying to incorporate some freshmen into this roster. We're trying to incorporate some new transfer kids, and then we're trying to incorporate the MASH squad, the 7 surgery kids back into the lineup. So it's just a lot of things that we're trying to get done, and our schedule hasn't allowed us to get into practice and fine-tune some of these things. Now we're in a play and learn mode.
Now, so you guys fall at Truman State 84-67, followed up on Saturday 55-51 loss. The home opener, as you said, cold shooting. You fouled 23 times. Just what was the difference Saturday in just a 4-point margin? What was the difference?
Well, the thing is, we stayed in the game because we defended. We held them to a low shooting percentage. We held them to 55 points. We cut our turnovers down to 12, I believe. And then we just missed a lot of open shots. I mean, we had some shots around the basket, probably 7 or 8 that we thought, oh, those are the, oh no, I can't believe that didn't go in, and had some good looks from the perimeter. So, you know, when you shoot 32%, 25% in the first half, you're really just kind of blessed to be in the game. But defensively, our kids found out if they'll guard and defend and rebound, at least you're staying in the game, even if you have cold shooting. So we just got to get it all put together. We got to get both sides of the floor on the same page, and once that happens, then I think we'll be competitive.
For sure. And then in a positive, Sarah Ledbetter, she scored 14, 15, and 16 in 3 of the 4 games this year. She's played a max of 21 minutes. Is she a girl who can, as the season goes on, you can extend those minutes and hopefully keep that efficiency? Or?
No, we won't be able. Well, I hope we can keep the efficiency, but we won't be able to extend the minutes. She's a 20-minute player. She's playing on you know, on a knee that is probably about the same age as Moses, and it is what it is. She's one of our chronics. Tremendous props to her. She's battling through it and playing in a lot of pain, and it's just she gives us what she has. But you know, to play 17, 18, 19 minutes and put up 14, 15 points is tremendous, and it's a consistent, and we'll take it. We like that inside play from her.
Now this week you go to 0-4 Quincy on Tuesday, then the Thanksgiving Classic, always a great tournament at the Looney. St. Mary 1-2 William Jewell. Just how do you look at this week ahead? What do you want to accomplish?
Well, again, you know, it's a great week, you know, in terms of our kids getting better. They're not sitting in classes, and they have a chance to really throw themselves into themselves and their team and getting better. And we travel to play tomorrow, and Quincy's a tough place to play, and we're traveling up day of the game, and so that always sometimes can make it a challenge. But, you know, we're just excited about every game because I think this team's going to come out of every game with a little better approach to where we want to get our team, and you know, you've got to play these games to find out what to work on in practice. If everything seems smooth in a game, then you may get a little bit disillusioned about where you're really at, and you don't want to go into the MIAA not knowing what your weaknesses are.
Now, well, let's talk about the fun stuff. Thanksgiving is coming up on Thursday. You wanted to talk about the Abyss. I'm gonna talk about some Thanksgiving.
You can eat a lot in the Abyss too.
How do you plan just to spend this holiday? And you guys have a tournament coming up just the next day, so I imagine you're gonna be spending it with the team.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we try to do a great job. We've got local kids that have families, and they'll take care of some kids, and then we've got some kids that obviously can't get back home. You can't just pop on a plane and go to New Zealand over Thanksgiving break.
You can't?
So, no, can't do it. In fact, by the time you get there, Thanksgiving's already happened because they're a day ahead.
Yeah,
For those
right.
people who don't know, did you know that New Zealand's already?
I did. That's the international date line.
Yeah, so when you come back here, you've traveled back in time.
If they're watching, it's already
yeah.
It's already Tuesday.
It's already Tuesday there, and so I wish they had the lottery though, that we could get the lottery numbers.
Gosh, you're a genius.
Thank you, appreciate that. I don't hear that much. But no, Thanksgiving's just a fun time for coaches and coaches' families. Though I can't remember the last time I had actual Thanksgiving off. It hadn't happened in 30-some years. You're always playing, and we kind of rotate our Thanksgiving this year. It's in Kansas City, so we're going to spend some time with the family and get to spend time with the grandson. And that's always fun, and eat too much, and then we'll come back and practice Thursday night. And I tell the kids, enjoy Thanksgiving Day, but be smart because Thursday night we got practice.
That is right, Coach. Best of luck all week long. A busy week coming up for you, and then it doesn't slow down come next week either. Robbing the Griffs look to get back on track Tuesday at Quincy, then the Thanksgiving Classic at the Fieldhouse on Friday and Saturday. Coach, best of luck, as I said. Coming up next, men's basketball assistant coach Will Martin swings by. The Griffons are 4-1 with 4 road games coming up in the next 7 days. He joins me on the other side of the break. You're watching Griffon Sports Spotlight on Fox 26 KNPN.
A divisional battle on a traditional day. The Redskins have taken the NFC East by storm.
Peterson, touchdown!
Now, Zeke and the boys await, hungry to dominate in this Thanksgiving showdown. Redskins, Cowboys, Thursday at 3 Central on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
Everyone knows Sheldon's from the Lone Star State.
I'm Texas through and through.
The Big Bang Theory, 5 nights a week.
What are you doing this weekend? Find out in St. Joe Live. Whether you're going out on the town or staying in to chill, St. Joe Live is the place to find things to do in your free time. Live music, movie reviews, TV listings, and art exhibits. These are just some of the things that St. Joe Live covers, so you know what's going on. St. Joe Live, your guide to the weekend and more. Thursdays in the St. Joseph News Press and online at stjoelive.com.
The news press has been there every time St. Joe made history. Everyday people making bold choices to build a better future for their families and our town. Along the way, the news press has embraced St. Joe's innovative spirit, growing with our city, never forgetting why we are here, to serve you. Now, more than just recording history, you get the information you need to make history.
Thanks for staying with us. I'm Brandon Zenner. He is assistant men's basketball coach Will Martin. The Griffons winners of 4 in a row heading into the Tuesday night's game in Quincy. 89-79 winners at Missouri S&T on Saturday. Coach, I know you guys are doing a lot of learning with the program right now, building a culture, but it's got to be fun to win while doing it.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, the true fun is just watching our guys buy into each other and buy into the culture that we're building. Winning is just kind of a byproduct of that, but obviously when you're winning, it makes it a lot easier, especially on the road. But what I love is watching our guys really learn how to love and sacrifice for each other, which we've been teaching since day one. So
Now talk about that game you had last week, Missouri S&T. You guys trailed by 12 in the first half, get it back to 1 at halftime, and then you lead most of the way, get this team's first true road win. You guys played the first 4 at Civic Arena. You guys are out on the road being dogs right now.
Yeah, first road win, and also I have to call out our guy Ty Danielson, our graduate assistant. It was his first scout ever, and he got a win for us.
I saw you posted about that.
You know, that's big time, and it shows the trust that Coach Wicks puts into his support staff, not just in me, but our graduate assistant as well. You know, not too many graduate assistants out there get a full scout this early in the season. So, you know, he did a great job scouting, and we knew, we told our guys that we had to be poised under pressure because we knew that they could go on some runs. They have a really good team, and they went on a run early, and our guys stayed poised under the pressure, and you know, we just continue to do what we do, not just on the defensive end, but offensively as well. So
yeah, I think in their first 2 games they scored over 130 points, something like that, and then you guys holding to 79. You got to be happy with just holding the team like that to 79.
Well, there's no doubt. You know, we laugh all the time because Coach Wicks is kind of a defensive-minded guy, and I'm an offensive-minded guy, and we haven't been scoring the ball that great, but our defense has been phenomenal. And you know, we continue to do that as our offense grows. So to be able to do that against a team like Missouri S&T, who was averaging 120 points coming into the game, which is unprecedented at any level. I don't care, Division I, Division II, high school
ball.
ball. If they scored 143 points in their last game, so a lot of confidence going into the game, and for our guys to continue to defend with high intensity and a violent effort was huge for us.
Now let's talk to the changes you guys made to the lineup. Coach Wicks was telling me Alex Martin, he missed a couple practices, so Tyree Martin, he gets his first start, the freshman from Chicago. Just what did you see in that in him getting his first start? And you're a guy who works with big men. Just what have you made about him up to this point in the season?
Yeah, Tyree's great. You know, we kind of have a Patriots mentality, the Bill Belichick next man up, and Alex, you know, who's been a solid piece for us. He went down for a couple days, missed some practices, so Tyree's got his number called, and he's been great all year. He learns at a fast rate. He went to a really good high school in Chicago, and you know, he's just transferred everything that he's learned, and you know, he's been pivotal for us. Whether he starts or not, he's a kid who's going to be huge for our program down the line.
And then Frenchie, Jonathan Mesmock, he had a couple of career days in the Hilliard Classic. He replaces Jalen Gant, who you can see he has the tools. He's just not it's not clicking for him at this exact moment. He'd struggled a little bit, but Frenchie comes in and he plays well in the starting role. Just what have you made about him, and what has he brought to this program?
Well, let me say this first. Jalen's going to figure it out. Yeah. You know, Jalen's he's a great athlete, very skilled and talented, and he's just putting everything together right now, and it's going to come together for him. Frenchie's a guy who has consistently come in for extra work. He is maniacal about his work ethic, and it shows on the court, and he's a guy who can go out and get rebounds for us, and he plays like he's 6'7", even though he's 6'3", 6'4". So he's a guy that we can play at multiple positions. Even though he's more of a 2-3 guy defensively, he can guard a 4. And so that really helps a lot, and it helps us in our rotation, putting him in there.
When you guys are looking to narrow down this rotation, you guys are playing sometimes up to 12 guys right now. What are you guys looking for in this group that is ultimately gonna carry this team throughout the MIAA season?
Well, the main thing is it's not about starting or not starting, and you know, we have a young group, but I think that they realize that, which is huge and pivotal. I mean, you know, a lot of kids, especially nowadays, they think that getting the start's important, you know, but really it's about who finishes, and we have 8 to 9 guys who are all in that rotation right now that we can count on to start, we can count on in the middle of the lineup, and that we can also count on to finish. So I think right now it's just finding the group that's going to run our offense and do what we do, and right now we have a lot of guys that are willing to step up and do that. So we're blessed as coaches to have such a nice group of guys that can play those roles.
And then we have to talk about Tyrell Carroll again. This guy, he's showing that he's something special as a freshman. 19 points in 25 minutes off the bench. He went 7 for 12. Just what separates him maybe from other guys that are coming in as freshmen and trying to learn out the college game?
Well, I think similar to other freshmen, Tyrell's still figuring it out, but I think one thing that separates him is that he is extremely talented. He has a chip on his shoulder. A lot of schools overlooked him because of his size coming out of high school, and just being fully transparent, I think that he kind of wears that as a chip on his shoulder, and I think that gives him an edge a little bit. We're always talking about distorting your competitive reality and creating an edge, and I think that might be Tyrell's edge right now, is that he wants to prove to people that he's an elite athlete, he's an elite guard, and he can do a lot for us.
Now, Levon Hightower, he had 24 and 12, 13 for Brian Hudson, 10 and 5 for Tyus Millhall, and the Griffons are 4 and 1. Now you head to Quincy on Tuesday, a doubleheader with the girls there first. Just what was that first road trip like? The experience of being on the road with your guys down in S&T on Saturday?
Being on the road is all about bonding, and some of these guys have never been on a college road trip, so it was fun just to get them on the bus and get them to experience what it's like on the road, and then obviously when you get a win, that's huge. Just continuing growing as a team. I think that our whole motive this whole year has been passion and purpose and sacrificing for each other, and when you're on the road, it gives you time to kind of get away from the distractions back home, and we can just truly focus on each other.
Now, 3 more road games this weekend, as I said. Start with Quincy, then you get Illinois Springfield, that is, this weekend out in St. Louis. Just what do you see as the keys this weekend? What are you guys looking for as we hit near the end of the stretch of non-con?
I think that it's just continually growing and learning the offense. I mean, we're still not where we need to be offensively, and that's fun to watch, knowing that we're really battling in these games, and we're still not anywhere close to running the offense the way that we want to. So if we can continue to do what we're doing on the defensive end and then grow offensively, I think that that's going to be a major key as we slowly get into conference play.
And how excited are you to spend Thanksgiving for the boys? A little advice: you might want to trim up that beard. You might come back for our next interview with some stuffing.
Well, it's still No Shave November, so I got to keep it rolling until at least the end of November. But I'm just excited. Some of these kids have never been away from their family during Thanksgiving, and we talk about brotherhood and family within the team, and we have guys from all over the country. We got Nigeria, we have France, so
California, Arizona.
The true ideal of Thanksgiving, coming together as a melting pot and just being thankful and grateful. It's something that we're excited about, and I love that our team gets to be together during that special time.
Definitely going to be a fun one this week. The Griffons tip it up Tuesday with Quincy, then back in St. Louis this week. Go get them this weekend, Coach. Keep it rolling.
Thanks,
Steve. Coming up next, just when you thought Griffons football season was over, well, it isn't. There's a story on how the Western Seniors get to take to the field one last time. Plus, Coach Williamson stops by to talk about the Live United Bowl. You're watching Griffon Sports Spotlight on Fox 26 KNPN.
Morning. Pancakes are perfect this time. Babe, are you okay? What's wrong? I love you, Barry.
What?
She just won an Oscar and a Golden Globe.
That's how it's done.
Watch Allison Janney in Mom.
Let's face it, you lead a busy life. Taking the kids to school, soccer, football. That's why you need a forecast from a team you can trust to let you know when the weather's going to be great and to be there for you when it isn't. Whether it's on air, online, or through our mobile app, we have the forecast you need. We track storms to keep you and your family safe.
She is a force of nature and natural truth seeker. She tells it like it is, even when we don't want to hear it. She rules when life gets unruly. And after years of honest advice, she has no equal, no limits, and remains unstoppable. Judge Judy.
Weekdays at 5 on Fox 26 KNPN.
intensity and the energy and the spirit of this Griffon football team, and it's going to continue to grow and become more and more powerful.
Marino's going to throw over the middle of the football field with a handoff to the 10-yard line of the 5-kilo Mac inside the 5 of the 3 and does not get in. They get to the but come up short, and Lindenwood storms the field. Missouri Western loses to Lindenwood 27-23 to close out this 2018 season.
Try to get to the end zone. That's what kind of hurt at the end, not being able to come through. But, just it's kind of a surreal moment, knowing that that's probably my last play, Missouri Western, but I could just say, I'm happy it was, with my brothers. So that's cool.
I know last week or last night, and the way it ended wasn't pleasant for anybody, but you also gave us our first winning season in a number of years, and you guys, we're forever grateful for what you've done for that. I wanted to pull you guys in the side because I got a call last night from a guy who basically said, hey, we noticed what you're doing. So I'll turn it over to you.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you calling in. Hey, guys, I was wondering if you would be interested in coming to Texarkana and playing in the Ancient American United Bowl.
On December 1st, we will go to the 2018 Live United Bowl, hosted in Texarkana, Arkansas. We'll be playing the Southern Arkansas Mule Riders of the Great America Conference.
Oh, I'm excited. You say your goodbyes, but now they're not really goodbyes. It's kind of like a new life.
It's another opportunity to play another game and to further better this team and put them in a better situation for next year.
This is such an important step for our program and program development. If you look back at bowl games in MIAA, there is a long history of teams that are on the upward trajectory that make a bowl game, they win a bowl game, and the next year they ultimately hit the postseason that everybody's shooting for.
I didn't take that last week for granted. I'm definitely not going to take 3 weeks. I'm not going to take a rep, a practice. We have early morning workouts tomorrow. I'm not going to take that for granted. Nothing. I got to prove this one last game.
Especially for the seniors, we don't want our last football game to be a loss. So trying to get that W and make it feel a little better.
Welcome back into Griffon Sports Spotlight. I'm Brandon Zenner. He is football coach Matt Williamson. Coach, congratulations on the huge accomplishment. You guys are going bowling, staying alive in the postseason.
Yeah, absolutely. It was good. Obviously our kids talked a little bit about it earlier. Is just the glow in our just really the seniors' eyes, just to know, hey, I get to play another game that I grew up loving the game. Put a lot of effort, put a lot of time into it, and then, hey, you get an extra one. Come on, let's go, let's do it. So it was good, and just it's good for our program. It's good for the continuation of the growth of our younger guys as well too. There's so many great aspects for it, but I'm happy for the seniors and just our program as a whole.
Now we saw Looney just break the news to the seniors there in the locker room. Tell me about how you learned about everything and kind of how you told the guys around the program.
Well, it was really kind of an up and down deal, a little bit of roller coaster. Obviously, I think, we talked with our kids, hey, you will have an opportunity if you win a 7th game, and it looks really good. And we ended up not performing really well at the end of the game, and so we were saying, a lot of us were saying our goodbyes and hugging and stuff in the locker room. We spent a lot of time as a coaching staff in there, and and I went home, like, okay, here, we're moving on. Everybody kind of in their mind, I sent a message to them, hey, at Tuesday we'll get back together and collect all the gear, and we'll start getting things rolling from there and work on to our next step as a program. And then I got a call, probably about 2 hours after I sent that message out from Josh, and he's like, hey, we're in, man, let's do it. I'm like, all right, let's go. So then it just spread like wildfire, and the kids kind of knew, and everything was, everything just kind of all came as one. And so we put it all together. We practiced a bunch. Last week we got 2 full great practices in. Our kids lifted, trained. When you look at it, by rule, as soon as the season's over, immediately you're done. You can't do anything. This gives us, we're lifting extra time, we're working on with our younger kids, we're spending so much time it's like almost adding another spring ball in there. Now we're not being as physical then. We're still working with our ones and doing some team stuff, preparing for Southern Arkansas. But our 2s and 3s, we've been doing live scrimmages all week, and we're doing them today, we're doing them tomorrow, and then we come back, and when we prep for game week, it'll be back to a normal format.
What does this do for this program getting back to the postseason, first time since 2012?
Well, you just want to get a taste of everything. You want to know what it's like. You say, like Will was talking earlier about, hey, they've never been on a road trip together. Well, none of us have been on a postseason play before. And so the kids have to learn, and you have to transition at some point. And this, I think, is a great stepping stone. We're not at a program exactly where we want to be. We've grown tremendously, and there's going to be huge steps taken for next season as well. But the biggest thing is that with that postseason, it's a taste. Get used to not eating Thanksgiving dinner with your family. That's not a good thing to say, but you're actually with your family. You're with a bunch of brothers, and do stuff like that. And that's our plans, and that's our goal every year, is that we're going to play games after the regular season's over.
Yeah, and then as you just said, Thanksgiving, you're going to be spending it with your second family. What are the plans? How do you plan to utilize this?
Well, actually, we give them probably about 3 or 4 days off over the actual Thanksgiving, so they will get to see their family. But running up to this Wednesday, we practice Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then we'll be this Wednesday, and then we'll have a little bit of time off and kind of get us as a coaching staff will get to hang out with our family a little bit, and they'll be able to go see their family, and we'll come back Sunday and start getting after it. Except my son's getting his wisdom teeth pulled out, so I got to take care of him for the next 2 days. It's not a good Thanksgiving for him.
But what the heck? So what does he get? Jello? Is he eating Jello pudding?
I don't know. We're gonna have to. I guess cranberry sauce is all he's gonna be able to do. Yeah. So, but no, it'll be a great Thanksgiving. I want to wish everybody else happy Thanksgiving in St. Joe as well.
Well, thank you very much, Coach. Congratulations. That's right. The Griffons are going to the Live United Bowl on December 1st down in Arkansas. Coach, have a good week of prep, and we'll make sure to catch up with you next week to start talking X's and O's for some football again. Now, thanks for watching this edition of Griffon Sports Spotlight. Everyone, have a great Thanksgiving. Make sure to join us next week as we look back on a busy week of basketball and kick off bowl week for the Missouri Western Griffons. You've been watching Griffon Sports Spotlight on Fox 26 KNPN.